Hey, Syed, before we do this presentation, you want to play a quick game of Plinko?
Sure. Well, according to Plinko, this presentation is forecasted to be awesome.
Sweet.
Hello, my name is Syed, and I'm with my partner, Owen. And together we are the Marketing Masters.
And we're here to bring you, Mars, a creative marketing solution to sell personalized M&Ms.
Let's quickly go through our agenda today. At first, we will look through our mandate and then provide analysis on our market. We will be giving in-depth analysis of our recommendation and provide the impact of our solution, and then bring all together through our synthesis. Our mandate is to create a marketing campaign to engage US Gen Z consumers over the course of 1 year to purchase personalized M&Ms. Our objective is to reach 45 million in personalized M&M for the fiscal year of 2022. Now let us give you a taste of our solution. We'll utilize Plinko, the game from the 80s, where you can drop a chip where it will bounce around and fall into a random pocket. We have categorized our solution into 3 Plinko categories. At first, the drop, where we will use the Plinko-based game in the M&M website. Then comes the spread, where we leverage social media Insta AR filter. And then comes the false, where we will take Plinko to different universities.
So let's go into the analysis. But before we can look at the market, we have to understand the product that we're dealing with. Personalized M&Ms are not cheap. They're about $50 per 2 pounds. They're not something you would purchase for immediate consumption. They'd rather be something like a gift or a sentimental value for friends and loved ones. As such, we need to target households who have a basic level of income to be able to afford groceries and rent. We take that into consideration with our Gen Z market. These individuals are between 9 and 24, are about 63 million of them in the United States. We're not just targeting any Gen Zs, we're also targeting Gen Zs who want to make a difference with their purchase, so about 50% of them. That gives us an estimated population target of about 18 million. But we have 18 million people, and that doesn't mean 18 million purchases a year. We see a ceiling of about 36 million units sold a year, something that people like so much, they bought it twice. On the other side, a not so sweet deal, we have about this floor of 9 million units sold per year. So we know our market ceiling and our market floor, but let's see how the Gen Zs behave. Well, Gen Zs are considered digital natives. They were born and raised on technology, so it should come as no surprise that they use social media to communicate with their friends primarily. Apps such as Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube are all favorites amongst this crowd. Interestingly, all of these are videos, and they really like communicating with videos, not just the old static photos. Although Gen Zs are digital natives, we wanted to look at the different nuances of the categories within Gen Z. More specifically, those ages 9 to 14. These individuals still live with their parents and are reliant on their parents' purchasing power. However, they're able to influence their parents. They're also increasing their importance on social sources of influence. They're able to start recognizing when an advertisement is trying to sell them. And so they rely more on vloggers, celebrities, and their peers' word of mouth to make decisions. And as such, they move away from the functional purchases to more of a symbolic and are growing a brand affinity as a result. On the other side, we look at Gen Zs ages 15 to 24 who make up the majority of the category. These individuals are growing financially more independent and be able to make their own purchases on their own accord. As such, they want to make an impact with their purchases to be able to improve the future. Interestingly enough though, there isn't just one source that's interesting to them. They're interested in a wide variety of factors such as climate change, social justice, communities, and so forth. On top of that, although they're still really young, they look to the past for a lot of comfort and joy. Perhaps they see a future that's bleak and want to shelter in an earlier time. And this time doesn't have to be when they were born. It goes before that. It goes into the 80s and 90s. You can see in popularity such as throwback clothing. So let's make sense of all of this. And let's make sense of it with our example, Joey here, age 11, and Sarah, age 21. Both of them rely on social media to communicate with their friends. Both of them are increasingly more reliant on social sources for influence. They're not taking traditional advertising and they're not listening to their parents as much. In addition to that, Sarah more so cares about how the dollar is going to impact the future. And on top of that, she cares about having a nostalgic factor, even a time before she was born. And though Joey might be too young for that, his parents, who will be making the purchases, sure would. How are we going to take these key points? Well, first, we're going to leverage social media, specifically Instagram, and develop an augmented reality filter that they're able to share with their friends. On top of their friends, we're going to bring in the influencers as a social source of influence. Furthermore, we're going to link the purchase of personalized M&Ms to a crowdfunding platform to allow them to be able to support whatever causes they want. And finally, we're going to wrap it up in the nostalgic Price is Right 80s game, Plinko.
Remember our solution? Now let's elaborate on it. We will name our campaign Plinko for the people because we want our campaign to be fun and also give them the power to make a change. Now let's review through the 3 stages. At first, the drop, where we will want to create a marketing buzz and get people excited. And then we'll announce our partnership with GoFundMe while creating an AR-based game on social media, specifically in Instagram. And finally, we'll take this on the road to make this campaign fully memorable for everyone.
Before we drop, we want to build anticipation. So, what's the anatomy of the drop? Well, it starts with shilling and not telling. We want to create content with an air of mystery and ties to a bigger purpose and bigger, grander images. Although you have 1.2 million followers on Instagram, we want to go bigger. We want to get these messages across to everyone. So we pay to get an extra 10 million more unique impressions. And on top of that, we want to keep that mystery constant. So with every new mysterious post, we'll hashtag M&Ms are about to drop. We build that anticipation for when it does drop, we reveal a partnership with GoFundMe. This partnership is going to allow purchases of personalized M&Ms the opportunity to play a game of Plinko and earn money to be able to spend on any sort of project on GoFundMe. But why GoFundMe? Well, I mentioned earlier that Gen Zs care about issues, a wide variety of them. So choosing one charity won't do. GoFundMe is the largest crowdsourcing platform in the world and allows users to fund different projects from local community efforts to cancer patients to, of course, environmental efforts and activisms. On top of that, GoFundMe has charities registered on it. And so any projects funded to them will receive M&Ms a tax credit. In addition, GoFundMe is financially and has a brand incentive to get involved. Financially, they make 2.9% off of every transaction dollar that happens. And on top of that, starting in 2021, they put an effort to actually start branding themselves, something that they've let go by in the face of growing competition. GoFundMe also has 127,000 followers on Instagram alone that we'd be able to leverage and get more eyes on the project. In terms of timeline, we need to start ASAP to start developing that social media content with a little bit of mystery involved. And we need to start developing partnership deals with Plinko, getting the trademark copyright for a year, as well as with GoFundMe. The campaign is going to run from January until mid-February, where we announce the Plinko for the People campaign with GoFundMe in mid-February.
Now let's talk about the spread. We'll develop a game based on Plinko where with the power of AR, you can grab the falling M&Ms in your screen with your mouth. Individuals can record this whole game and share it with their friends. We have selected Instagram as our platform since M&Ms already has a huge base of followers. We'll integrate this game into Instagram AR filters and also make it available on the M&Ms official account so that individuals can find it and play it. In this game, people will try to catch 20 falling M&Ms in the game, and their score will determine the discount percentage as well. This discount will be available for a limited amount of time. In order to win the discount, they have to share their gameplay video in their story and tag M&M's official account. After receiving the tag, we will provide them with their personal discount code. And for development, we will take the help of Jerzy Pilch, who is a famous AR filter developer, and he's also developed the famous game Food Frenzy. Now let's look through the strategy for the spread. We'll use influencer marketing to increase the word of mouth and also give our audience a social proof of the new trend in the market. Social media gives us a huge reach and also allow us to set the trend in the market at the first place. We have shortlisted pool of influencers who are diversified in race, in terms of representation, content, and also audience, which gives us an advantage in making our campaign successful. Here are 3 sample influencer page where Shane Dawson is a popular American YouTuber, Emma Chamberlain is a successful Instagram fashion blogger, and Alfonso Davis is a highly rated Black Canadian soccer player across the globe. And we have shortlisted similar pool of influencers to make our campaign successful.
The main focus from the spread is to get Gen Zs engaged. We want to use the social forces such as the word of mouth of sharing the augmented reality game with friends as well as the influencers to help drive the purchasing process. In terms of timing, we want to start right now with the development of the AR filter so that we can release it in March. Along with that, in the summer, once the filter's been out and circulated a bit, we want to be able to continue to build out that momentum and really take it viral in the summer with the influencers. But we don't just stop there. We want to make it stick. And with that, we want to move into the fall stage. In the fall, we're going to run the Plinko for the People US tour. This is going to be 2 separate tours making 6 stops each at 6 universities each. The reasons we chose universities, aside from the age demographic of Gen Zs, is that we're also going to target wealthier and larger universities, such as USC and Stanford, as that aligns with our current target market. Although we're going to run an event at the university for the students, we're also going to have another event at the university open to the broader public. We want to incorporate a giant Plinko board to keep within that theme where people can play to win personalized M&Ms with their university's logo on it. We're also going to bring back the past AR assets that you had for the Times Square activation event. The point of this is we're trying to build a long-term customer engagement and loyalty. We understand that if we left only our activities online, there's a lot of competition for people's attention and loyalty. So we want to bring the fall offline to people in person to be able to keep the momentum going and stay relevant with them for the long term. In terms of the timing, we're going to start in March with the event activation request for proposal. UMARs are not going to be handling the tour itself. In fact, you're going to hire another company to do it, but you want to make sure that their ambassadors are on brand and representing your company appropriately. In August, we're going to begin the tour starting in the East Coast and moving west. As the climate gets colder in the east, it's perfect to end it off in a warm, sunny California. So we walk through the drop, the spread, and the fall, but we want to give it in the perspective of the customer's journey. And it starts at awareness. The drop generates interest, and we use the release of our partnership with GoFundMe as a way to really garner awareness of the initiatives. But we then also leverage the AR filter and influencers to make that awareness go on fire. The reason we included a discount with playing the game is that we also wanted to help reduce the barrier for the search for alternatives for a gift. If people have a discount, it'll help lower that need and help translate any game into actual dollars. With the purchase itself, we want to couple it with being able to play a game that has outcomes that appeal to the Gen Z audience. And then finally, we don't just leave it there. We bring the show on the road and bring the Plinko board to the people themselves so they can physically interact with your brand. Of course, no plan is without its risks. The first risk we see is that we can't get the copyright license for Plinko. This is feasible. The OLG in Ontario has gotten it for Canada, and we believe that it's possible to do it the same in the United States. However, if for some reason we're not able to get it, or that they ask for more money than we budgeted, then we propose just renaming the campaign. We like Plinko for the People. We like alliteration. However, other names such as Drop It for the Cause or Catch M&Ms If You Can are good secondary campaign titles. The second risk we see is that GoFundMe doesn't want to partner. We outlined reasons why GoFundMe should want to partner, but for some reason, if they do not want to, we can find another competing platform to partner with us. We don't want to because we want to be using the largest crowdsourcing platform. However, this is another option. And then finally, the influencers, despite being paid, might see it as a bit more of a transactional relationship and not actively promote the M&M's brand, more specifically personalized M&M's. So how we get around this is we change that transactional relationship into something a bit more personal. We send them, without any warning, a nice surprise, a personalized pack of M&M's with their name and face on it. This personalized touch will help push them to be able to promote M&M's in a more positive light.
So let's see how Plinko for the People impacts your bottom line.
Plinko is nostalgic and it's fun, and the AR game should be no different. However, we also like it because it's predictable. Starting with the AR game, we are able to control the difficulty of the game to be able to have with relative certainty determine what the discount is going to be. It's not going to be so easy that everyone gets 20%, but it's not going to be so hard that everyone gets only 5 or 10 out of the possible 20. So we set it at about 15% for the discount rate. In terms of the donations, once they purchase and be able to drop the M&M to see how much they'll win to put towards GoFundMe campaigns, well, this isn't really going to be a Plinko board. It's actually a Galton board, and it's going to follow a normal distribution, as you can see here. With that, we actually know in aggregate what the average payout is going to be, and it comes to around $6. With our variable marketing expenses covered, we can see how the fixed costs that I mentioned earlier translate into about a 4 to 16% penetration of the ceiling and floor markets that I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation to translate into $47 million, actually exceeding our goal that we outlined at the beginning of this presentation.
Now let's look through our synthesis portion. In the end, we tried to connect our analysis with our recommendation to reach our goal. With Gen Z being highly active on social media, our AR game will help us to use increased word of mouth, and partnering with GoFundMe gives our campaign and audience a purpose. And finally, we want to give our audience a feel of nostalgia and excitement by making our campaign revolve around Plinko. In the end, our objective is to get $45 million in profit with great brand recognition and CSR association for personalized M&Ms.
We're confident that our solution, Plinko for the People, is the right one for you.
This is Syed, and this is my partner Owen, and together we are Marketing Masters.
Thank you for your time.